Hey everybody, p-brane here with another video in my series here on Bob the Science Guy and his so-called proof of a rotating spinning ball Earth because of this shadow cast by Mount Rainier. And I gotta say, a couple commenters have said, why are you giving Bob all this time? Why are you paying attention to him? Well, first of all, he blocked me from his channel a while back, so I can't respond to him. He's allowed to come respond. I haven't blocked him from my channel because that's not the way I operate. But he blocks. This is why you don't see any flat earthers hardly on his channels. He blocks everybody. So I have to respond by video, and especially when he accuses me of stuff, and I'll be dealing with that soon too. But anyway, so that's where we're at here, but I appreciate those comments, and I agree. I shouldn't be wasting time on them, but for now, I got a few more things to say, and then we'll let it go probably. Now, he has used this for proof of a spinning orbiting ball, and he also uses it in a video saying that we flat earthers have dyscalculia, some made-up nonsense, because we don't automatically jump to the conclusion that, yes, the sun is lower than the mountain peak and casting a shadow up on the clouds above. Well, because no, flat earthers have been exposed to perspective and educated to how perspective works. And most importantly, flat earthers are thinkers. You have to be, because you can't run out to the local library and get a book on flat earth and regurgitate it like you guys do. So no, we don't jump to a conclusion like this when there are so many perspective illusions at work in this photo that it would be stupid and it would be fallacious to jump to that conclusion, Bob. All right, let's see what else Bob has to say.
Okay, the final update is this short video by my friend Shawn Hawkins.
Hello everybody.
Shawn did do a short video showing that the shadow shape will tell you whether or not the mountain is above or below the clouds and whether the sun is coming from above or below the peak of the mountain. So let's go ahead and have a quick look at that.
What we see, right? Let's say we're on right here. What we see, p-brane, is this. Oh, let me get it lined up. Am I correct or not?
No, you are not correct, my Appalachian friend. From your perspective, here at the mountain, this is where your camera is. What do we see? We don't see what you're showing at all. No, what we see is this. We see at daybreak, sunrise, and at the end of the day, sunset, we see from the top of the mountain, which is the perfect viewing location, we see a wide shadow tapering to a tip off on top of the clouds. In the distance, on the top of the clouds, it tapers to a point. That's what we see. And let me bring up a point about this, the point of view. You take air traffic controllers. Now, at your local airport, they're up in a tower. That's where you want them because they're looking down on the airplanes and there's a lot less visual optical illusions going on. You don't want your traffic controller sitting on the ground in a lounge chair because of the spatial relationships will be messed up. The best view is from a tower looking down. That's why the only view that really matters is from the mountain peak looking down on the cloud. And what we see every time, all the videos, all the footage shows from the peak of the mountain that the clouds, and this is at daybreak or sunset, the shadow is always cast on top of the clouds. Period. And this proves that the sun is always above the mountain peaks. Now, on a flat Earth, as the sun gets further from you, it lowers. So that's how the sunset is created, by the sun going away. But the sun is still physically higher than the mountain peaks. So this disproves the spinning ball and that the sun somehow sets because it's going below the leading edge of a sphere. Well, it's not. It never does. Okay, so let's get back to old Jed Clampett here. Now, what is your perspective that you're referring to? I know what you're referring to. You're referring to a perspective far away from the mountain, miles, many miles, and on the ground, like where they got these pictures from. That's what you're referring to. Your perspective is everything. Where's your perspective? Okay, so the perspective far away from the mountain looks kind of like that. Why? Well, I'll explain. Look at these railroad tracks. The bottom one looks like this one from the summit looking out at the shadow that's cast on top of the clouds. And you can see that converges to a point. Now, even if the mountain had a flat top, it would still converge to a point because that's angular resolution. That's convergence. Everything gets smaller, and all parallel lines and planes, even divergent lines, will converge when they are on or very close to your eye line. That's how strong the power of that is, converging lines. So there you see the bottom railroad track. That's exactly what we see. And now look at the shadow from far from the mountain, and this would be far from where the train tracks converge. Say that's where the train station is. We're far from the train station now, and the shadow goes up, appears to go up. It's not actually going up. They're both parallel to the ground, right? They're parallel to each other, but yet that's what you see. Okay, so look at this, the rows of flowers. Look how severely. Now, do you think someone on the other side of these flowers over here looks back and sees the flower rows spreading out? No. They see the same exact thing from where they are. They see the flowers converging, just like the crepuscular and the anti-crepuscular sun rays. This is how everything works. So for you to sit back, Bob, who's supposedly an expert in perspective, remember, like you said, to sit back and say, this is clearly a sun lower than the peak of the mountain casting a shadow upwards on the clouds above. Well, you can't make that determination. And a real expert in perspective wouldn't go out on a limb and say something so presumptuous and stupid. Let's see what else this yokel has to say.
Do we not see that on the underside of the clouds?
Absolutely, we do not see that. Great. Nice job. You just showed that the sun beneath the tip of the mountain produces a shadow that we do not see. We see the exact opposite from the perspective of the peak of the mountain, and that's basically where your camera is, proving the sun is higher. Nice job.
There's the light under, pointing up, and we see, notice that the shadow is teeny at where it starts at the cloud to the right and gets bigger, right?
Exactly like we don't see. You moron. I mean, the shadow is wide at the mountain and tapers. And the POV, the point of view here, is the mountain. That's where you're showing your point of view.
Let's see what it looks like from the top of the mountain. Oh, same thing, right? I'm still below it, right? Still below it. There we go.
Yes, there we go. Perfect. You just proved that when the sun is lower than the cloud and lower than the peak of the mountain, it produces the completely wrong shadow. It produces an opposite shadow of what we actually see from the peak of the mountain. Well done, sir. And between you and Bob, I never have to take another photograph because you guys are just killing it, man. You're killing the spinning ball. Excellent. Oh, man, and now you've given me just too much. There's no way you can give me more, right? Wait, what's this?
Now let's see what happens if you're at the top of the mountain, if the light is above the mountain. So let's bring it up there. Oh, wait a second. That's not at all what we see, is it?
That's exactly what we see. Am I in an alternate universe here or what? Somebody restore my sanity in the comments and tell me that I'm seeing what I think I'm seeing here, that this guy is completely off his gourd. For him to say this is not what we see at all. Hey, buddy, have you not seen all the videos I put up showing all of the mountain climbers taking pictures from the summit? And the shadow is a triangle, just like you showed there. I mean, Bob, you put two goofballs up to represent you. The Australian goofus, like this guy.
Hello, Flatties and Globe Defenders.
And let's not forget this winner. To do your stuff, and you're supposed to be a perspective expert. You know what I think, Bob? I think you're fudging, Bob. I don't think you're a perspective expert. I think you're lying, Bob, and you're not a science guy either. You know what I think you are, Bob? I think you're a guy that answered an ad to fight the flat earth in one of your local leftist rag magazines. That's what I think, Bob, or one of your local newspapers.
But then again, that's not my job. My job is not to convince people that already have their mind made up on things. My job is to give good information.
Yeah, your job description, Bob, is to pretend you're a science guy and to pretend to be a perspective expert. Here I'm challenging you on perspective, and you're handing it over to two goofballs to do the work for you. Good job, expert. And thanks a lot, everybody, for who's bought a t-shirt. Really appreciate it. Give a thumbs up to this if you'd like. Subscribe. I've got a couple new t-shirts. Everybody who's purchased, I so appreciate it. Thank you so much. And we will catch you soon. All right. Bye-bye.